Mashkihim. Yeah. Hi. Spam has arrived. Fantastic. Voger is a word. Right. Earlily. 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 Bilayer. Virale. Voger. That was a word. That was a word when I last thought about it, so it should be a word. Hey Churro. Good catch there, Saint Monday. Mashgiach. Yeah, man. That's the grind these days. Making sure everything's kosher in life. Man, I remember who played this on me on stream, Gorse. And I was like, I guess that's a word because Gorzy is a word. But it was the first time I'd seen this, I think. Hey, Super Noodles McJurgle. Hi, all of you. What is good? Is there like a word here that I'm missing? Dragonaz. Dora the Exploradora. Ado Adorn. Donas. Radon. That actually seems decent. Radon. Radon, man. Donar Daron Dara Dora Nema. What the fuck? Seriously? What's up, Ninja? Oh god, we have a
Oh wait, I
clip.
have Ah!
It's too small. I can't see
He
what
missed
happened.
it!
Can't even see what happened.
What?
Okay then. So apparently Ninja Monkers streams chess. Benji for a year. What is happening? You guys are all so early. Thank you for the raid, Ninja. Man, why did I even know you streamed? What is wrong with me? And hi, Pems. And thank you for the shout out, McJurgle. Why is everyone here so soon? Benji for a year. That's crazy. Let's see. Um, yeah. I hope that wasn't super loud for everybody. Ah. It will delete all chess moves. No, it's just a random clip. Yeah. I like it that way today, Saint Monday. Pem subbing? What? Why are we so close to hype? For the first time, Pems. Thank you. Is my room too dark? Like, really? I think it's fine. You can see me. I can make this even brighter. Like, you can see me. It's fine. Is that better, Saint Monday? Thank you for subbing, Pems. That's really generous. Yeah, really. Physics also. Physics. I really enjoyed your stream earlier. I totally disagree with you, by the way, on what the best formatting is for Elephant stream. But I still enjoyed it. Physics was streaming Scrabble earlier today, And Physics also streams other puzzle-like things like GeoGuessr. Actually, if I do a clip shout out, there's a good chance we get an amazing Geo clip, but I don't want to really like tempt fate. No, I don't like Physics. I don't. I for some reason I just don't, and it's maybe just because I'm not used to it, or somewhat because I'm not used to it. All right, Shorans. Oh, this almost fits like perfectly. Damn. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna be attempting to play fun Scrabble. You know, sometimes I play Scrabble and it's like I'm trying to win. And other times I just have fun. And when I have fun, it creates the best content. So, yeah. That's the thing. That's what's happening. So for all of y'all who are chess people, maybe I'll play chess later. That's 40. No, I can't do that. YOR is the problem. Senhora, Horsen, Senhora. Again, it almost fits, but because of YOR. Horsen, Senhora, Archons. I mean, I guess I'll just play Shorans this way. Um, well, first of all, there's the site you want to play on, Pims. I also have a fixed width dark background right now in my room. But yeah, first you play Woogles, then you get started on Aerolith. If you're really into it and want to learn words individually, do Ziziva. Those are tools. Aerolith and Ziziva are studying tools. Thank you for the almost hype, by the way, guys. That was really unexpected. But yeah, the two-letter words are the most important thing. And you also have to choose a lexicon. What? Gift Pems, why are you so kind? Do you want something? I really appreciate it, Pems. Anyways, you challenge Shorans. But yeah, you should learn the two-letter words. I play with the North American lexicon. It has fewer words than the international English lexicon. And yeah, right now, oh, you wanted the hype train. Yeah, it would have had to have been someone else. So I'll try to. How can I refund you? Didn't mean to. Um. Man, you guys are so nice. Okay. But there'll be more time for hype for sure. If the viewers feel hyped up. Um, I have, yeah, I probably want to play something here. Uh, that's ridiculous. So, you know what? I'm probably, I do have to make a play, which is unfortunate. I guess I could pass if I want, but there's no reason to do that. All right, we'll just play this weird move. Um, yeah, so we play with two lexica in North America. We play with the North American and the international lexicon. Um, and that sort of causes some confusion. Um, and there's also a common English word list that you can use on Woogles um, to get yourself started without all the crazy words. Well, with some of them, but not all of them. But they're more like the words are less questionable. And we have now really, really nice mixture of strengths of bots. Fascias, that's probably good. Fasciae is good. Fascial. Yeah, I think that's good. Um, so you can play bots that are very weak to start yourself off and then move up. Yeah, those are some of the words you will not find in the North American lexicon. But if you like the look of those words, you can play in the international lexicon. Ahuru Huru. Man, okay, so oh, that's a nice play. Um, I guess just play Tomb or something. Oh no, I can't. Um, okay, so Djinn is a threat for the rest of the game. Bet. Play something like that. Um, all right. I guess it doesn't really matter. Well, actually, it is kind of important what I do because the game's close. Moonlit. Moonlets. Um, yeah. What was I gonna say? Do I remember what I was gonna say? Um, oh yeah. Okay, so I was. Wait, why can't I find it? Ah. Okay. Um. So I was watching this game earlier, and the bot played Couscous, and I was so excited about the placement because in the international lexicon, this is a word. So I was hoping to see OU come down at some point by the bot because I don't know if this guy knew Couscousu, but he played B token, keeping his U, and I was like, okay, if he knows Couscousu, he's maximizing his chance of drawing the O for it. Then he didn't draw the O, and he still didn't draw the O, and then he resigned, and I was very upset. Okay. Yeah, I know who it is. He's a former national champion. Yeah, docs. Oh, I guess. Okay, no, he just played Wive. Wive isn't so good. I mean, he probably didn't have good stuff, but the problem with Wive, although it does like kind of try to open more space on this side of the board and sets up the S hook for Swive, but there are no S's. So not only does it not set up the S hook because there are no S's, but it also allows me to come down at H1 at any point, and that's basically my ticket to victory because it will block the D hook on Jin. It's basically like that's a D, and that's something I can deal with Like I can't fully block ever. There are a couple plays um there are a couple plays that like can play to the J. Um but that'll just open up this spot. And there are a couple plays I can make here. Like there are two turn blocks that I could have done. Like playing with Naga and then playing over here to block because this is a humongous threat. Um, this is basically the only way I can lose before any of Wive and Moonlets happened. Like that's the only way I can lose is a huge play with Jin. And yeah, what Wive does is it allows me to come down here, score some points as well, and deal with the hook as best I can. So yeah, unfortunate there for Richard. How's it going, Chris? So will I draw the D is the question. And look what he does. He pretty much prevents me from blocking now. But yeah, now it's far too gone. I think I'm just gonna play Oleate. Now I can potentially block the Jin next turn. There's at least the threat there. I don't know. I don't see a great play to actually block it. But it also doesn't matter because I'm ahead by 170. But yeah, he plays there, and again he's protecting it with all of himself, and he now probably has the D, but there's no real way for him to play there. Yeah, Fergie. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have the word Heiji, which does block, but it's really bad. At this point, I don't need to block. Also, there doesn't even seem to be a word that fits here now. I see Viduity, Viduity available. But that also doesn't fit anywhere. So as long as I don't open anything, I think I'm not gonna get binged on. But maybe I will open something. I'll play Frau. And this might give something back, but I don't care. Alright, it looks like it didn't give something back, and I drew the D. That's funny. After all that, I was the one that drew the D. But yeah, Jin was a way back into the game, but didn't work out. Drew into Moonlets. Try to do homework. Good luck in your homework. I'll do everything in my power to not make this a very entertaining stream so you can focus. Except that's exactly the opposite of my title. So I'm kind of at odds. Oh, I can almost play Pems. Too bad. I can play a singular Pem. So now I have... This is a funny situation in this endgame because... I only have one spot for the V, but he can't actually block it. Like Yid used to be a word, it's not a word anymore. So sometimes when you have a V in the endgame, it's impossible to use it if you make the wrong plays, or if you just can't play it. That also happens. I also have Perv. I'm pretty sure, unless I have a combination, a sequence of moves that gets rid of all of my letters in 2 moves, I think Med is actually the play here. Oh, I guess Derm threatens Vet. And it could just be blocked by YE. So that probably doesn't work out. 25, 20, 31. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. Oh, if I play Term, I'm good though. If I play Term, I can play Dev and Vid and Vid. So I think Term is probably the right play here. But it might have been worth more to score a little bit more and not give back the YE spot. Yeah, complicated endgame. Checker work? Yeah, that's a weird one. Alright. Good game. Wait, what? Wait, why isn't he here anymore? Oh, he's gone. Guys, this is unbelievable. No, but this is not like this isn't right. There's something this is wrong. This is not okay. Guys, uh, I I don't even know how to react to this. This is so I can't believe that that just happened. And it's not just like that's not any like any phony two-letter word. Like that's not it. Oh my God. Okay, I have to I don't know what to do. So bad. I can't believe it. He left so fast too. Like honestly, right? No, but okay. Take a look at this. This is my record against Steve Azorio. Sorry, it's a little bit fucked. Let me fix it. This is my record against Steve Azorio, who's a Canadian intermediate player. 1-3. It's a very bad record, but it's only 4 games. But it still demonstrates that I struggled psychologically against this man. Okay? Now, what's the relevancy? Richard just got away with TH against me. What's the relevancy? Here's my only win. I'm going to show you guys my only win against Steve. And it's a crushing one. 414 to 79. That's sort of like based on the rating difference and I guess skill difference if you want to put it that way. That's the sort of game I should be having against him like more often than not. Like a game where I just crush him. But this wasn't any sort of game that I crushed him in. I made a pawn move. So my opening prep was quite good here because I made a pawn move up the board. And then he played this move. ATT. ATT is his move. And I was just perplexed, very perplexed. Because this sort of move, a 2-tile play for 3 points, indicates not very many things. It indicates that Steve has 1 point tiles or less, like he could have a blank, which is 0 points. He doesn't have that many vowels, 1 or 2 maximum. And he's close to a bingo, so he probably has an S. And I just didn't know what was going on because ATTS isn't a word, but spawn and pawns are words, so he doesn't. This could have just been a defensive play, right? Now that I look at it now, like these days, like this is potentially the right play with certain racks, and it's better than Tat because Tat allows for me to score a little bit more. Like I could play with Tate, I could play like with the W and with the P, I can score a few more points. And there's no way for me really to block spawn and pawns at the same time. I would have to play like I don't even know. I don't think I can, basically. So it's totally fine because it's protecting these hooks. It's very hard to block both S hooks. But I was really perplexed because when you score 3 points, you have to have a really good reason for it. Yeah, knight would have been better, yeah. And given my state of mind, it was sort of this is a moment where my state of mind was very much like this guy doesn't know what he's doing sort of thing. Like I don't think this guy knows what he's doing and I have no business losing a game to him ever, and this play to me screams that he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's a very toxic and also potentially wrong mindset, right? To have. But having that mindset basically meant that like hold on. It meant that I was vulnerable to losing games that I should never be losing because of that weird. It's sort of like an anti-tilt, but it's the same like psychological effect that tilt has, where you're like, I'm supposed to win this game. I'm better than this guy, and he just played for 3 points. This is stupid. And it's like wondering if you're going to lose a game to somebody who played ATT for 3. And it's really pervasive. It's terrible. Like, it's really bad. It's not only is it disrespectful to the opponent, but it's also just so bad for your own mindset. So if you don't care about disrespecting your opponents, like, okay, but it's still bad. Like you're still gonna suffer. And here's what happened. I was like, okay, I have these really bad letters now, and I am feeling the impending threat of a bingo by my opponent. And I have no way to do anything about it. I have nothing to play on this board. Like, what am I even to do? I could play like something like vet, or I don't know. What can you even do here, right? Like there's really not much to do in this position. Or you can exchange, you can play off like 2 constants and a vowel. It's pretty bad. And so I'm just here and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just play off 2 constants and a vowel. I can score pretty well. And here's what I did. This is no joke. I played TH. And I just like I can read what I said. I must have been that mesmerized by Steve's last play that I completely lost focus on reality. Exactly what I'm saying. Pervasive mentality. I have never accidentally played such a blatant phony 2 before. And I go into what phonies I remember playing. My reasoning here, if it even matters, is that this seemed better than an exchange since it scored and blocked the best lane for an 8. Okay, so my reasoning was fine. It's just that I'm not making valid words, right? If this was an S somehow, an AST were a word, then when would probably be a decent play. Um, and yeah, so I hit the clock and immediately saw, like, whenever I play over the board, I make my play, I hit the clock, I usually verify my play. Yeah, good. The copy pasta, yes. I usually verify the play I made before I hit my clock. Here I didn't do that, but I always verify my play after I hit the clock. I look back at, it's basically like, what have I created? I want to see it again. I briefly looked back at my play and saw TH, and my heart just like almost exploded. Like it sunk. It's like, I don't, you guys know the feeling. It's like, oh my god, like you just get like time stops and you're just like, fuck. So at this sort of moment, any person who's paying attention will notice TH is on the board. They'll neutralize the clock, say, hey, you played TH. Sorry, bro. And that'll be it. I'll have lost my turn, and I'll be on complete and utter tilt for the rest of the game. Probably only in Collins, Blue Philly. Yeah, no one says that. I'm just reenacting what would happen, like not with the correct lines, physics. Krebsy, what's up? Oh my god, I have to restart the story. Wait, don't look at the window. This just happened to me. My opponent played TH and I didn't notice, and I am just completely beside myself because TH is the most ridiculous phony I've ever played in a game of Scrabble. And I cannot believe that that was, I mean, it's great that it was Richard. Like, Richard is the perfect candidate to have done this to me. 100%. Richard has that style of play that's just like so random, it's glorious. So, Slim Salamas, I'd never really considered that, but I very, very, very highly doubt it. Anyways, I was talking about how this is my only one game against Steve Osorio. So how did I win this game? I mean, I'll show you. I played TH here, and like it's just so blatantly obvious when you're looking at it. And if you're passing by the board, it's so blatantly obvious that TH is on the board. And what happens when this sort of play is made is your opponent is like, oh, you hit your clock, sorry. Take your play back. You don't even go to challenge the word because everyone knows they're twos. So Pems, if you're still here, TH is not a two-letter word. And don't play it. I don't remember that at all, physics. But yeah, that's usually what happens. And hopefully people aren't reading the commentary, so they're not spoiling what actually transpired. Hold on. Delete. I don't want people to see the commentary. Most of you probably already read it. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And I played this and immediately I was like, oh fuck, oh my god, no, I just like I'm never gonna recover from making this play. And what you have to do in this situation where you play a complete phony and you know you've played it and everybody who plays Scrabble knows that that's not a word is just wait. You have to wait. You have to act like nothing's amuck. You have to act like nothing is wrong, and you have to wait for 5 seconds and just pray that your opponent doesn't notice. And it's easier said than done. But some players are more oblivious than others. And Steve, I find, is an oblivious player. He's oblivious to certain things that people who are usually better than him are not oblivious to. And that can be an asset sometimes. He'll never make it to the highest levels with that level of obliviousness, but it does work in like intermediate levels very often because it just creates this weird vibe that you like nobody can figure out what's actually happening. Like, is he not paying attention? Is he paying attention? And then there's these moments where like, oh, he's completely paying attention and I just screwed up. Anyways, I got away with this phony. Exactly. I got away with TH. I have to wait. You have to wait 5 seconds after you hit your clock to draw your tiles. That's one of the rules. It prevents you from doing such a thing on purpose, or even not on purpose, but usually on purpose, and immediately reaching for the bag and drawing tiles, because you can no longer challenge a play once a tile is out of the bag. When someone is redrawing tiles and a tile has been pulled out of the bag. That is the exact moment when it is no longer acceptable, and you roll the replay and whatever, it's no longer acceptable to challenge because a tile has been drawn. So I have to wait 5 seconds. You also have to write down your score for your play. And then you can draw your tiles. And I waited 5 seconds, and believe me, those were some of the longest seconds of my life. Okay, Krebsy, sounds good. I hope it never happens. And yeah, he didn't notice. So I got away with TH, and I was like, that is hilarious. I'm going to be able to tell this story to my children. But now I can't. I can't because now someone has gotten away with TH against me. What? Thank you, Todovsky, for the host/raid. Much appreciated. I hope your time in Scrabble world has been nice. Yeah, shout out to Todovsky. I'm trying to catch up to Todovsky in terms of follower count. That's like my #1 goal these days. So it pains me to shout him out, but please do follow. Please do follow him. If you like relaxing gaming with Japanese translations and stuff and coding related talk. Yeah, so he lets TH go, and for the rest of the game I'm just like I'm completely out of control, like hysterical, and I'm trying to hide my hysteria from Steve, and I'm also trying to figure out if there's any point that I can tell that he's noticed this, right? Because it's possible he goes through the whole game without noticing TH, and it's just hilarious to me. And also really horrible, because how could I do this? Like, I should know. Just like we saw yesterday, Jesse Day, it's like going to work without your shoes on. Playing a Phony 2 should not happen at my level, or at the level I desire to be at. So this was Niagara Falls 2016, and I had a hoodie on, and I made sure to hide my face as much as possible within my hoodie so as not to disturb Steve who has let me play TH because I was hysterically like giggling the whole game. Anyways, when best play of all time. And so now for the rest of the game, I'm also like, okay, well, can I make NTH? Can this be like the first time that NTH is played by hooking another word? Um, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, PNA, PNU, like, is there some way that I can play a PN word to make nth? Because that would be phenomenal. I think one of the first times in tournament Scrabble, in competitive tournament Scrabble, that I played a Phony 2, um, I was debating. Actually, maybe I can find that game too. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know why I'm using this method of it, but these are all my games. All right. Yeah, here it is. This is, I think, the first time that I played a Phony 2, like in like expert play. And it was at the very end of this Las Vegas tournament that I have so many stories from. But I was debating between playing fair. I saw fair first. I'm like, okay, that looks like a fair play. And I was like, oh, maybe I could play fire. That's the anagram of fair. Is it better to do that? Is there any reason to do that? And I was like, yeah, fire doesn't take a Y. So it's slightly safer to not play fair and set up the fairy hook. So okay, that's slightly better, so I'm gonna play it. And I played it, hit my clock, and then I was like, fuck. So the same thing happened where I'm just like, god damn. Yeah, exactly. I'm loving Soren's commentary for these things. And again, my opponent, David Whitley, who's a very, very formidable player, did not notice because he's like, oh, look, he gave me a better spot for my bingo. But I put fair down and then I switched the letters. That's how bad this was. And he played a sales. I played Lyrius, and then he played BY. Yeah, and exactly. This is exactly the quote. When he played BY, I was like, is that even allowed? How are you gonna go over here and like hook my Phony 2 to make a 3 that should never be a hook? There's no IB, there's no NI. Like that shouldn't be allowed. Should that be allowed? Like, well, is that even allowed? Exactly, right? So it was hilarious because he obviously now know. I think he noticed, but that's the thing. He could have maybe not noticed that Ni was on the board, but just noticed that he could play BY and make nib. That's happened before, and that's even funnier when you're so used to just hooking words. It's second nature, like making parallel plays and hooking words, making twos to threes or whatever, that you're just like, okay, I can play by here. These are valid words, and not even notice that the reason you can do that is because NI is on the board. And I think that could have been what happened here. I don't think David is here, but if there's any chance that Mr. Whitley can remember this, it's possible as well. Anyways, so that's why I wanted very much so to play nth and something, but hypnagogic, and hypnums, those were not really possible. If hip was on the board, HYP, hypnagogic would be available. And that's literally the only way to play a valid word here, making nth. So I couldn't find that. Poor me. I'm sorry that I couldn't find hypnagogic. Um, and now there's like no real way for like TH to be hooked to make a 3. Like it's very unlikely that a 3 will happen. Struggle is real for Steve. Oh, that's so... Yeah. Anyways. And the game continues. I'm drawing quite well. I'm drawing the S's and stuff. This is defensive. So this play is not like a good play in a vacuum, but considering that Steve had been making short plays for a while, and then he exchanged five, I was like, okay, he's less likely to have an X here than average, and less likely to have a high scoring play. But again, this sort of player, you're not supposed to play this sort of player like that because they'll just like either they'll just have gotten lucky and you're right about like your inferences, or they're just keeping the X on their exchange or something like that that's not supposed to be correct. So I'm exploiting a failed thing. Like I'm trying to exploit a way of playing that my opponent is not emulating. And why should I assume that all of my opponents are playing in this linear manner in this box that we've created as experts to designate what's normal, what's the way that should the game should be played. And that's the double-edged part about like playing exploitatively and why my style sometimes does not work against certain opponents because I'm really heavily influencing my play based on what I think is going on their side of the board. And I can be completely dead wrong and suffer. Um, yeah, earshot was really nice find, and I was really still worried. Like I'm only up 50. I'm still worried that something's gonna happen. Um, I say not in a good position here, even though I am in a good position. It's just an unpleasant position. Even though I'm up by 60 points, like I could just still lose. Earshots can be hooked. Some lucky bingos can happen elsewhere. So I decided to play very defensively. And now I'm feeling very good. Now I'm ahead like 80 points, and he's making really dinky plays. And yeah, this is now game over. I draw the blank. Um, Interesting. Yeah, this is a very interesting endgame by me. So this is an endgame where I actually played better than the engine. And that's just because the engine isn't good enough. Um, has anyone hooked a Phony 2 to make a Phony 3? Probably. Actually, maybe not. It's a good play in a room. Hey, Nemo. But yeah, Ion is a play that an engine will not generate because of how weird it is. Like you're using your blank for 15 points. Um, when you have a blank, you have so many available plays that the current engines that we use are not generating all of those plays because there are too many of them. There are just so many plays when you have a blank because their blank can be any letter. I know, chess person. It's fantastic, honestly. You should try it. If you get good enough and you can beat the best engines, like imagine, like it's beautiful. In any case, I was quite happy to see that like my engine couldn't find this play, and at the end I did the math, and this was better, 5 points better than the play it suggested. Yeah, in atomic chess, good. Um, but yeah, then I go out with Leaf, and that was that. I had Leaf in two spots, LIEF with Fe and LIEF with FE. So they're both Fe. Anyways, so it was like not possible to block both of them reasonably. Um, but yeah, that's how I won. Oh, and look at this comment. Look at this comment. So that is something common that happens. It's like a potential suspicious thing. It's a suspicious thing that some players do is they agree to scores that are not correct but that benefit them, and don't agree to scores usually that don't benefit them. Like for example, if we're both keeping score and Steve has a score where I'm winning by 130 and I have a score where I'm winning by 128, it's possible that Steve will agree to the 128, which is against the rules. If there's any score discrepancy, you have to recount the game or recount the plays that might have been problematic. But this happens very often, and it's very hard to catch this actually happening for real. It has to be a string of events where someone's really keeping track of their opponent messing up and maybe even trying to debate them into like banking points is what this form of cheating is called, banking points. So if if you're at that point in your Scrabble uh in your Scrabble fulfillment where you're trying to debate people that you think are cheating in this way, like hats off to you, but like I was definitely not there. um yeah, so what you can do actually if you're like if your opponents are doing this during the game where they're agreeing to scores that benefit them that are not correct, um you can make have them think you can maybe have them think that like the game isn't going to be recounted and that at the end you just decide to recount even if the game is like not close. Normally you only recount games when the score is close. um but yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot that goes into this game. And there's not enough time or synapses for me to properly explain everything that's so amazing about Tournament Scrabble. Um, but yeah, like banking points, me might like that's the thing when you have a mystic opponent. Uh, as Soren says, a what did you call him? An enigma. There you go. When you have an enigmatic opponent, maybe it's because they're doing this sort of thing and getting away with it, or maybe they're really just oblivious. And maybe they're like, oh yeah, like Josh is better at counting than me. He's probably right about the score, which is still technically against the rules, but in that instance, you're not doing it for your own benefit. So it's not really something you can get suspended for example.